Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Movie Club, where Mike and I are talking about. I think it's not the only kids quote unquote focused movie we've ever done.
First off,
I don't
do
think,
not
but
besmirch the name of the great Agent Cody Banks with forgetting about him.
that's right. We did do one of
And you don't remember
OG
how
Movie
much.
Club. We did.
And do you remember how much we were both like, these are okay movies? Like we were actively like.
Well, that's the thing. Like that era of Disney movie, especially like the Disney teen movies, they were good.
So we were both like actively like.
Like they weren't
You know what?
great.
Like-
They weren't necessarily like knock your socks off. You know, these things are.
Can I say something?
masterpieces. Yeah.
I'm gonna say something controversial that's gonna piss off a lot of people. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
If I look at them as a whole movie, so not like an individual scene, but like as a movie, as a product, Agent Cody Banks is a more consistent film than most James Bond films.
Yes.
And not all James Bond films, most. Like it'd be like somewhere in that middle pile of.
Yes, only because it doesn't go very high and it doesn't go very low.
No, that's what I mean. Like I'm not saying like there were individual like most of those films will have a moment or a scene that you're like, oh, there's a better film. But like some of those Bond films do not hold up well in pieces. Like
Yeah, there's definitely an era of Bond where like the camp went away for a little
they
while,
still needed it.
and like VFX and stuff weren't quite there. And the character itself is very campy, and since they were basing a lot of the movies on the books, it's tough to make a serious version of camp.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. But anyway, we are not talking about Cody Banks. We are talking about Paddington in Peru.
Paddington in Peru, I believe is roughly. We have to get a little more. We don't have the correct accent to really say it correctly. We would like to apologize to begin with. So I want to start this back on too. So remember, going into this, I had never seen these bear films, right? So I watched on the way to out. I watched one of these films, and I got to say, going in, again, I've heard good things. But again, I want to point out you were correct on the sense of it's a very charm, like you're just gonna walk through life type films. And I am proud to say, and glad to say that I have enjoyed, and I would say this newer one is very much that same type of we're going on an adventure that, like, let's be honest, even in the moment you're kind of like it matters, but like it's a lot more of just the do through world. And I gotta say your initial telling me about that beforehand was very, very accurate.
They're just so fun. Like, I mean, the thing of it is, like, the Paddington 2 is revered by a lot of people. Famously, Hideo Kojima adores Paddington 2.
Yeah, like Paddington 2, I feel like is the one I've heard, like you've heard about
Yeah.
first.
So I think that really points to these films are not only well made, but they're just straight up good movies. And there's a weird divide in kids' movies where there are very few that nail it
Mm-hmm.
in terms of making great movies. Right? Like, the popularity aside, right? Like, Moana and Frozen, when you break it down, aren't great movies. They're made really well, and the songs are catchy, but the movies really aren't that great. the storyline especially in this one, as an adult, you can see what they're pointing at,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't. They hint to something and then they call back to it. It's not like they don't go plot point and then finish that plot point out. It's, hey, we're hinting at this. 40 minutes later, we're going to wrap that story up because it now comes back into the main story, the A story. And I will say that the most jarring thing was I had to look up and see if there was a third one, and this happened to be the fourth. Because Emily Mortimer took over for Sally Hawkins in the role of the wife.
Mm-hmm.
And for the life of me, I was watching it going, this isn't the same actress. It wasn't Emily Mortimer. What happened? And so it was before we started recording that I looked up, and Sally Hawkins just said, like, you know, it was the right time to hand the reins over. She was and always will be in love with Paddington's world, and she enjoyed her time with it. So, you know, just like,
Also, I want to point out the other thing too is why did no one tell me going into this that Paddington was Q from Skyfall?
yeah,
It was definitely
like,
I did
these
not
are
process this.
stacked cast. Like,
Yeah, no, it's a real cast in these films.
it's, I mean, like, again, it's a kids movie, but let's look at the cast. You've got Hugh Bonneville, who isn't huge in the States, but is pretty big in the UK.
It's definitely a name and like a face I recognize,
Yeah.
and I think it's from Downton Abbey. But
Yeah,
it's definitely
he was
like
in
someone.
Downton Abbey. He was in a bunch of the
Monuments
shows.
Men was something that was decently big. He was in.
Emily Mortimer, famously of like Newsroom and some other big projects like that, takes over for Mary Brown. Then yeah, Ben Whishaw is the voice of Paddington. I mean, Q, take your pick, like pretty big.
Haley Atwell's in it. Like you have names. Like this is like especially you start doing like a bunch of names like this. You're like they cost some money.
The thing of it is, I don't think they cost a ton of money.
Olivia Colman, you don't think costs money?
I'm not saying like their rates wouldn't potentially be high, but I do believe these are projects that like it is a completely different property over in the UK than it is here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Like here in the States, we are only seeing it as the movies. We aren't seeing it as like, you know, the little bears that everyone grew up with. And, you know, it isn't as much of a cultural institution the way that it is, especially in the UK. There's a lot of history behind the Paddington Bear, and it's fairly recent history too, if I remember right, which is kind of crazy. How much of a kind of chokehold it has taken over with them, which is kind of cool. But then, yeah, I mean, also famously, Hugh Grant's in these movies.
Yeah, that's another one where I was just thinking. So Hugh Grant is on this like a third phase of his career. Is this third phase? He just appears in everything.
Potentially.
Like it very much just seems like there's a movie coming out and Hugh Grant is in it in some weird side role.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, it's Hugh Grant and
As an Oompa Loompa.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you look back, even the the second one, you're looking at Jim Broadbent's in it. You've got Hugh Bonneville. Like the main cast is the same. Hugh Grant plays a bigger role. It's just, it is a literal kind of who's who of
British casting.
British comedian casting that have also done like more dramatic stuff as well. Like Brendan Gleeson is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big role in Paddington too. So it's just cool to see. Like, I don't think you could do this in the States. Right, like
He's using for my parallel, and I know he's not American, but like my parallel in a bigger picture is the how Nolan can get a certain amount of actors for a tight budget.
yeah, it definitely feels like in the States it's more revolving around who's doing the movie.
Yeah, versus what the movie's about.
What the movie's about, yeah. So it just feels like in the UK they have more respect for, or I should say the respect of the actor is showcased across different mediums as well. Right, like Benedict Cumberbatch is a great example. He was on Top of the Moon in the States, goes back to play Sherlock, does stage shows. Like, acting in the UK is just different. You act on all levels. Right? You do stage, you do screen, you do silver screen. Like, if that was the case in the States, you would have like Tom Cruise doing a Broadway show at the height of Tom Cruise.
You'd have like 2005 Tom Cruise doing a Broadway show.
You'd have 05 Tom Cruise doing a Broadway show in between Mission Impossible releases.
Yes.
And
like how Tom Holland just went to Broadway to be like just do Romeo and Juliet for like 6 months.
Yeah, just like, oh, okay, he's okay, yeah. You know, it definitely feels like they are much more well-rounded actors that come.
You know, I wonder. So this is a side note. I am generally curious how in the UK, London is both the film industry and like the stage industry. Yeah. Where in America, like we have a couple of film cities, but functionally it's LA for like a lot of work and where a lot of actors live. And functionally the bulk of like when we think plays is Broadway in New York. I'm curious also if that also has a lot to do with it.
Not really. I mean, it's, you know, especially with the ease at which you can cross this country.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're at that level. There's really, like, it's not a barrier. So, but, yeah. I mean, this, like, getting back to Paddington in Peru, I don't know about you, but my theater was entirely parents and kids.
Yes.
Save for, there was one guy 2 seats next to me that fell asleep. And I don't think he cared what movie he was in. He was just like, I'm going to go into a movie theater and fall asleep for 2 hours, because that's what he did.
To be fair, this might be the movie to do it.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, dude, these movies are just so much... There's no other way for me to describe it than these are just fun. Like, there's no stakes, literally. You know how it's going to end.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to hit you in the gut because it's a movie meant for kids, but also meant for parents.
It's a movie meant for kids, but they treat the emotions like parents is probably the cleanest. It's the best of Pixar films. One of those where like sure it's for kids, but like they're not sugarcoating the message.
Oh yeah, this is that that era of Pixar where it was like Monsters University, Toy Story 3, like clearly people in Pixar were writing these as their kids were going off to college, kind of stuff. And like that just happened to line up with when I was going off. But this is definitely, it had that feeling of like, for the kids, they wouldn't necessarily get the emotional aspect of, especially the ending of this movie. But I'm sure the parents were definitely like hit right in the feels. I'd imagine if you were a parent of an adopted child as well, that would be, these movies would hit a little bit harder. But it, like, also just visually, these movies are great. I feel like there was a leap in fur tech that they must have done for the Planet of the Apes.
To be fair,
movies.
this film, I was like, this film is double the budget of the last one.
Oh yeah, but they definitely figured out like how to render hair naturally. I'm assuming in the Planet of the Apes movies, and now they just use that technology across Hollywood.
Yeah, I read a thing today, and it's very true. Like, for as much trouble as we give CG recently, like, we don't discuss how much like anamorphic animals have improved in the last like couple years. Like between stuff like Planet of the Apes or even Better Man and all those things, we're like, yeah, no, we got there in technology.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I do think you're right, and this film has it.
And my favorite little bit was they were flying the plane, and just it had a papal blessing in '87. And I was just like, that is totally something that a Bush pilot would say.
Right.
Like, I mean, it got blessed by the Pope at some point, like 40 years ago. So that's
good. Also, that's the most like Catholic thing you've ever heard in your life. You're like, at one point the Pope was here. Well, you know we'll be safe.
Yeah. And then just the granny finding the electrical issues, and I was just like, having seen the previous two and knowing that she gets into a bit of mischief and is usually one of the ones that helps to save the day, it was kind of fun to watch that storyline play out of just, there goes Granny looking for the electrical shit, like,
again.
And then, yeah, like, again, getting back to star-studded cast, Antonio Banderas is in this.
And
he's playing it as a serious role, but for kids.
Yeah, Antonio Banderas is another one whose career I can't exactly peg.
Yeah, there's a gap that I feel like he has that I'm sure he was doing stuff. But other than the Puss in Boots movies, I don't know what it was. Off the top of my head. I mean, I can look up his IMDb and go, oh yeah, sure, he was doing this, that, or the other thing. But I don't care. He is one of those where he shows up and just nails it.
Yeah, but he's one of those where he shows up, you're like, well, whoever he is, like, even if the role's imperfect, you have a good time watching him.
Yeah.
And I think that's very true in this film, too. Immediately, you're just like, he's in this? Okay, I'll be fine.
Yeah, there's an air of comfort around a lot of this cast in that you know they're going to give it their all, so you're totally cool with it. You're like, this movie's not going to suck because it has these people in it, And at the very least, you're going to get great performances out of these people.
Right. They'll at least make this scene fun or this moment fun, even if it makes no sense.
He was in Baby Girl. God, he was in that Indiana Jones movie that came out 2 years ago.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I know that Indiana Jones film was last year. You're not telling me the film was 2 years ago.
It was 23, but...
No, it was not.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I guess the Indiana game came out last year, so I was confusing that too.
Yeah. Dial of Destiny, when did that release? I'll give you it being 24 if it released late. Storyline. Details. June 30th, 23. So that's...
A while ago.
That's 23. So, yeah. I feel like I could, like, we haven't talked a ton about the movie, but I feel like in a way there's really nothing going on in this.
It's one of those, here's my suggestion, people. If you want to go, have a good time, go enjoy it. If it's a film you miss in theaters and you go watch at home, you'll be fine. Also, like, it's one of those where, like, trust us, there's not a ton to think about in this film.
Yeah, this is not a thinking man's movie. This is not, this is not a Tarantino movie. This is a kid's movie, but it's fun. And it's got a good story. And the Easter egg of naming the bears after the stations is fun. Oh, yeah.
The movie is Paddington in Peru. You can probably still check in theaters for the next few weeks. Go do that if you have not.
I feel like check this is going to have a really long tail.
I'll be curious because, like, that's the thing of, like, movie, like, this is the type of film that, like, if this was 10 years ago when those deals didn't exist for, like, streaming immediately and all that stuff, like, yeah, this would be one of those films that would just kind of exist for a while.
I'm fully convinced this is a movie that will be in theaters when it hits streaming.
And just, like, has one of those deals.
It's just, you could see it in theaters or it's on Paramount or whatever. I don't know. I think it's Sony, so it would be kind of up in the air. Which also, the crews behind this, it was so good to see Studio Canal back on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
To see their full... I hadn't seen their new splash screen. Because they don't really do a ton of movies anymore. Their name comes up a ton in television, but it's usually the Canal Plus stuff. So to see Studio Canal up there, I was just like, oh, this is like a blast from the past. Because, yeah, I genuinely can't tell you the last Studio Canal film that I would have seen, let alone them release.
Same. Now you say that.
See, movies. 4K restoration. Okay. I'm on their site. What do you think... This is the Studio Canal site. What do you think Silver Linings Playbook translates into?
Oh no, what does it translate into?
Like, and this is the English of the French.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it translates into?
Like something dying or something?
No, happiness therapy. Because, yes, like that, yeah, that does not make sense.
Yes.
Let's see. Film library, they do not make this easy. God bless the French, you guys are just, it's fucking weird. List of Studio Canal films. 2020s, alright. Oh, are they the ones behind Bridget Jones, I guess?
That's a film, by the way, the thing I told you, is everywhere in Paris. They are advertising that film.
Bridget Jones, yeah, it just came out, so that would make sense. It looks like Beating Hearts would have been their last major release. They did. Oh, they did Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget. That's fun. Let's see if there's anything big in the 20s. Evil Dead Rise, but that was UK and Ireland distribution only. So yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, like, just go look up Studio Canal and Canal Plus and their specially television history. There are so many projects that are either through them or they worked with. Like, their names on so much shit is crazy. I want to say that they were part of the Warner sale. Maybe.
Really? Because I know the distribution Paddington was Sony, wasn't it?
Yeah, so Studio Canal doesn't have a North American distribution.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, go check out Paddington in Peru. I'd say this is a pretty glowing recommendation for both of us.
Especially if you have kids. This is definitely, if you weren't already planning on it and you have kids.
Oh yeah, I would say this is
just a fun time.
We will see all of you next time with the breaking news of the month, and hopefully less layoffs. Which, spoiler alert, by the way, there's more layoffs this month, so we are not slowing down.
Death, taxes, and layoffs.